Recording.
No, because then, like, you punch one now, and then they're like, he assaulted me. I'm like, yeah, but he's a Nazi. I think that there should be, like, an amendment to, not the Constitution. There should be an amendment to the federal code that's like, you know, it's illegal for you to hit somebody, that's assault, unless they're a Nazi.
Well, then we got to...
So then you go to court, and then you basically have to prove that they're a Nazi.
Yeah, I could see that. And it can't be just like Nazi. Like, it's like, well, why do you think they're a Nazi? It's like, have him remove his shirt and he's got a swastika tattoo. It's like, oh, well, Nazi.
Right? Be like, look, he's marching with a tiki torch and
throwing up weird hand signs.
Yeah. Nazi. I read the defense rests.
What was the motion he was making? It was like this. Ow, why'd you hit me? Nazi. Ah, damn it. Hoisted on my own petard.
I am petarded.
Remember the first time I saw that? My mom was watching like Jerry Springer or something. It was like the racist.
The first time you saw a Nazi?
Probably was a skinhead. But they did that like the Nazi salute. And I was like, what the heck are they doing? And my mom was like, that's just something racists do. I was like, well, that's bad. She's like, yeah, it is. And like I associated that with like going to hell.
I mean, that tracks.
Pretty close.
Yeah, right? I mean, as a general rule, it should just be, you know, like, hey, other people are allowed to exist. And if you don't think so, then people should be allowed to punch you in the face.
I know it'd be interesting, like, because I know they've shown videos of like Germans when they've like shown them like what was happening at the camps, like supposedly legitimately didn't know. And like having like these like breakdowns of emotions. Because I don't think the US or anybody knew until like they found one of the first camps.
I think that we had ideas, but yeah, I don't think, like, I know, like, okay, like, I know when the military was rolling up on camps, they had no fucking clue what they were.
Yeah. Because I think that's in Band of Brothers, isn't it? Like, they show up at one of the camps and they're like, what is this?
Yeah, it's an episode of Band of Brothers, yeah. And they're like, I don't know what the fuck this is. But whether, I mean, like, I don't know if, like, the U.S., in terms of, like, intelligence agencies knew.
Yeah.
I would think that they would somewhat know.
Maybe that there was, like, prison camps that they were taking people, but not, like, what to the extent.
Shawn, we're not cold opening with the Holocaust.
No, we're not. Although you can only go up from there. What to cold open with?
Stop it. You're just trying to be offensive. Hey, Shawn, I got a joke. You ready? Here we go. This is a cold open. Here we go. You ready? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
9/11.
Speaking of that, there's there's the Irish car bomb drink.
Yes. I'll tell you, you know what? The last time I can recall being like very drunk, it was because of those.
Because what is just like a Guinness and Irish?
What it is half a shot of Jameson, half a shot of Bailey's Irish Cream. And then you take that, drop it in a glass of Guinness, and then you chug the whole thing. And the reason you chug the whole thing is because the Guinness and the Scotch, the whiskey and the Guinness are going to curdle that Bailey's like fast.
Yeah.
So you got to hurry up and drink it. Otherwise like there's no point in drinking it. You have to drink it fast. Otherwise it's going to be an even worse time.
Yeah. But so apparently somebody was in like Ireland and asked for an Irish car bomb. And of course that's very offensive. Like when you hear it, like obviously not knowing the history, you don't think anything of it. But like when you're over there and you say it, they're like, dude, that's like extremely offensive. Like that was a very horrific time in Ireland. Yeah. And so when the guy or girl asked,
it's like 100 years.
When the guy or girl asked for it, he's like, "Here, let me get you this." And it was like 2 shots on like something, and they knocked him in. And the girl's like, "What is that?" He's like, "We call it the Twin Towers." It's like, not so funny now, is it? No.
Hoist it on your own petard.
I am petarded.
Yep. Hey, Shawn, knock, knock. Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? The Holocaust.
Let's see, what's good. So you saw Batman. Talked a little bit about that.
I did see Batman. That's a long-ass movie, Shawn.
Yeah, like we said, it's
that's
like
3+ hours. I was like, oh, that was an evening. You basically have to dedicate a night and be like, okay, well, it's Batman. Tonight is Batman night.
I wonder how it's been received on since it's on HBO Max. Because like at the theater, I thought it got a fairly decent reception. Obviously, I think they're going to do another one.
I mean, as long as I just hope that Bruce Wayne is happier. He looks like he's ready to join the Black Parade.
Yeah, he is pretty sad. Yeah, it's a year 2.
I wish I knew the lyrics to that song. I'd start busting into it right now.
I don't know. I like the something in the way that they did.
It's something, some words and words to join the Black Parade.
Not a fan. Not a fan. That's a classic now too. Like that came out in like 2008. Like that's a classic.
I know, right?
There was so this week in Cold Open On, so it ties into Batman and Nirvana. So there was a big argument about like, is Nirvana considered an oldie?
I mean, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so
yeah, and it is almost 30 years ago when that stuff was coming out.
Well, yeah, because so in order to be eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it has to be 25 years since the release of your first record.
What do they consider that? Because there's a lot of bands who like put out their own record. Is it like studio?
So for Nirvana, I think it was Bleach.
But that wasn't like an independent release. Like they surely had an album before that they put out on their own.
Well, I think Bleach was an album that they kind of put out on their own,
okay.
and then once they got a label, then re-released it as a major release. But yeah, so is Nirvana considered? I'd say yes.
Oh damn, their first album came out in 1988. Bleach.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, and like you think about it, like
because Nevermind was 93, I believe.
Yeah, so that is almost 30 years ago. So in 93, if somebody's like, hey, this album that came out in 1963, it's an oldie, you're like, yeah, it is. That's a long ass time ago.
Because when because I mean, what came out like it's 93, like what came out in 63? Bob Dylan.
Oh. How's that make you feel? Like you're like when you're a kid, you're like Bob Dylan. Like, let me look these up. I'm gonna say these. You're gonna be like, oh my god, my grandpa listened to these.
I don't know.
Oh, the Beatles.
Do you know what music your grandparents listened to? I have no idea what my grandparents listened to.
Oh yeah, it was like old.
I know what my parents listened to.
It was like old country style, like Willie Nelson,
like
kind of
George
stuff.
Jones.
Yeah, yeah. Like you think like Grand Ole Opry, type of country music.
Gotcha.
Barbra Streisand's had an album come out. Johnny Cash's Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Stevie Wonder.
No.
Ooh, you want to feel old, Richard? Elvis Presley
had
an album come out. It happened at the World's Fair. Came out in 1963.
Okay, but you like at the time I was like 11. Not in 63, but in 93. So when Nevermind released, I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah, but think about like our parents when they were our age at that time. Like they would have probably known about that when they were 11 when it came out.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm saying, Richard, is we're old.
Yeah. I don't think you needed I didn't think that needed confirmation, but
well, I think I put it in perspective today when I heard that, and I was like, well, that was 30 years ago.
Dick.
I was like, well, how did I feel about like in 93, 30 years ago and 63? How did I feel about that? I was like, well, that seems like that was before times. Man, we are 60 years away from the 60s, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
It's time, man. Keeps on ticking.
Into the future. I bet that came out later than 63.
It did. Yeah, I heard that. And so like it got me thinking, so like I was like, why are people getting offended? Yeah, it's definitely an oldie. Like my favorite band, Papa Roach, came out 20 years ago. That is pretty much an oldie.
That's the thing. I guess I mean, I get it. Like, you don't want to think of Stone Temple Pilots as like classic rock.
Yeah, but it is.
But it is.
The only benefit we have.
Sean, tune. You know what you should do next time you're in your car? Tune to like an oldie station.
We don't have any around here.
You don't have there isn't a single oldie station. I tune into an oldie station and it's all like music from like the late 80s. And I'm like, I know all these songs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's, like they need to jump up a decade. Like they're kind of holding on to that like for dear death.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, the only benefit we have is like a lot of the bands that we listen to, like the lead singers and stuff, and the bands are like still together. Like they didn't die. Whereas like in the 60s, all of our parents' like favorite bands, like most of those like died in their like late 20s, early 30s.
That's a good point. I mean, with bands like Nirvana. Oh.
No. Well, and you said Stone Temple Pilot. Oh.
Yeah. I thought you wanted this cold open to be funny, you bastard.
Knock, knock.
You know what? We're gonna start a show before I answer that question. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we're speaking the language of romance. Shawn, we're just gonna jump right into it today. I have something brand spanking new. You have no idea what I'm doing, correct?
No floaties for us, no safety vest. We're jumping in the deep end.
That's right.
Sink or swim, baby. What is it? Give it to me.
That's right. Okay.
No, I have no clue what
so
this
I was
is.
thinking about it. Shawn, do you remember when you were a kid? What were some books you liked to read when you were a kid?
Oh my God, Goosebumps. Big Goosebumps fan.
Goosebumps. Okay.
There was a guy, Gary Paulson. He wrote a book called The Rifle. Great book. I read it like twice.
Okay.
As I got older, the guy who wrote
Is there like a genre of books that you were into?
Probably mostly like horror or sci-fi. So the guy who wrote I Am Legend, Richard Matheson, that was kind of more as I was older. Big fan of his. Like I said, R.L. Stine, big fan of his. There's a book called Net Force that I read that was wasn't by Tom Clancy. He kind of like helped kind of with the idea, like he came up with the idea, but it was written by somebody else. Basically, like it was like the government created this Net Force sector because like virtual reality was a thing, like Metaverse or the Oasis, and so they created this special task force that went into the Metaverse to stop crimes and stuff in there. It was really interesting. I tried to collect them all because I want to sit down and reread them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, there was a genre of books that I was into, and it was a book where you would read a few pages, and then at the end of a few pages, you were given choices.
Yeah.
Shawn, it was a choose your own adventure book.
I remember those.
Did you read a lot of those?
A few. I had to stop reading them in school because I got in trouble. Because there's this one time the teacher's like, I need you guys to read for 10 minutes. And so I opened this book and like within like 3 minutes I was dead. Like the path I chose was wrong. And so I shut my book and closed it, and teacher's like, hey, you're supposed to keep reading. I was like, oh, I finished it. And she's like, you didn't finish that, you just started it. And I was like, but I finished it.
I died.
Yeah. Why would you bring up this horror back in my memory? Yeah, I remember Choose Your Own Adventures, though. Yeah, probably less than 5 that I read.
So I looked online and I actually found Choose Your Own Adventure stories online.
Ooh.
And so what I'm going to do today, Shawn, like I said, I wanted to waste very little time getting into it. I'm going to read you choose your own adventure story, and you are the one that's going to make the choices.
I like it.
All right? Okay.
So just as a recall back to the one time when I did this, I fell into a pit and I got eaten by a plant. So just throwing that out there. I'm scared of plants.
So I feel very confident that our lives are now in your hands. Shawn, this story is called Dead Man Walking.
Ooh, is it pirates? Is it zombies? Is it ghosts?
I guess you're going to find out, aren't you?
Yep.
So there's a long intro, but I was kind of clicking through it a little bit, and it seems like once you get to a choice, then it seems like it kind of it's not as long.
All right. Well,
so the intro is going to be a little long.
All right. Let me grab my bag of Scooby snacks. Get the gang together. Let's go on this adventure.
Okay. So this is the start of Dead Man Walking. I think there's an author for this. If there is, I give me a second. I might. Burka Zurka is the author.
Oh yeah, of the famous Zurka family.
Yeah. Yes. Of the same of the Zurkas. Yes.
You know, I'm gonna know that's a fake name if at some point it's like you walk in and your stepsister's stuck in a couch. I'm like, God damn it.
Okay. So, Shawn, you are drifting through darkness, floating wasteless in an inky black void. Slowly, you realize you are not quite awake, but coming out of unconsciousness. You must have passed out for some reason. You try and sit up, but some unforeseen force holds your body down. With a note of frustration, you realize again that you are still not fully awake. Focusing your will, you try and start yourself awake, and for a moment, it seems to work. You sit up and look around and can see that you are in a dark tunnel with very little light.
Oh, how did I get in this dark tunnel?
You notice a man stooped over some object to your right and try to call out to them, but your voice does not work. Regardless, the man turns to look at you, and it is then that you see it is not a man at all, but a smoky silhouette of shadow in a vaguely man-like shape.
It's a shadowy man.
The thing sets upon you in a flash, and you feel a smothering presence overpowering you in the darkness, wrapping you up, holding you down, trying to invade you.
Oh, God, I feel invaded.
You, in a panic?
No means
you
no.
jump awake.
Oh, thank God. Thought I was back in college.
The first thing you notice is a sharp stabbing pain in your head.
Ow, my head.
Reaching up, you feel your hair matted in blood and grimace as you run your fingers over the jagged edges of what must surely be a serious head wound.
Oh, I got a cut.
Part of your scalp has actually been torn free of your skull and hangs in a greasy mess over your ear. You're not bleeding from the wound very much. It seems to have clotted, but you definitely should get seen by a medical professional sooner than later.
Oh, I need to see a doctor. Let me fold this
addition,
over like a comb over.
Your left arm, shoulder, and side are numb. Moving them slightly, you wince.
Oh, I'm having a stroke.
Of pain here and there.
Oh, I should have had so many energy drinks.
You're relieved to see that they're not broken, though it does seem you have been thrown down on that side recently and with significant force. It's very dark, but a dim greenish glow stemming from a huge mass of twisted metal before you gives enough illumination to at least make out your hand in front of your face, as well as what's immediately around you.
What's around me?
You can see that it's the wreckage of a subway train, or perhaps even two trains, as if one had run up into another on the same track.
Oh my God, crazy train.
Looking to your right, you see a mangled body without a head.
Oh, God.
You shudder and wonder what it was you saw standing over that body in your half-conscious dream state.
Oh, standing over that body.
Thinking back, you try to remember how you could have arrived in such a predicament.
How did I get in this predicament? Maybe it was the energy drinks? It had to be the energy drinks.
But you can't get past the pain in your head. Your memory's cloudy. How much of it have you lost? You can't even recall your own name.
Oh, God, who am I? Where am I? What am I?
You note that you are wearing reasonably savvy business attire with a gold watch. Unfortunately, the watch is broken, its face smashed, and the hand stopped at 7:40 a.m.
Oh, man, I'm
Checking
going to be
your
late
back-
to work.
Checking your back pocket, you find your wallet, and inside is your license.
Oh, shit, I hope I'm rich.
Greg Bradley, you say to yourself, reading the name off the ID.
That sounds like a fake name.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's like the everyman name. Your name is John Everyman Smith.
Reg Bradley. Either my parents are assholes or I'm a freaking international spy.
It occurs to you you should probably find something to bandage your head with. You consider for a moment trying to use your shirt as a makeshift bandage because that seems to work in the movies. It is then that you hear the rattle of movement from within the pile of train wreckage before you, followed by a long, mournful sounding groan.
Oh,
Instinctively, you quickly turn off your pen light and remain still, waiting to see what is making the noise without yet revealing your presence. You don't hear the sound again and wonder if some injured person is trapped in the subway cars waiting for you to make the first move.
Oh.
All right, Shawn.
It doesn't say Dr. Reg Bradley, so I don't think there's anything I can do.
So here are your choices.
Okay.
Wait quietly for help to arrive.
All right.
Bind your head with cloth from your shirt.
Okay.
Call out to whoever's out there. Try to sneak toward the source of the sound without revealing your presence. Ignore the sound and climb through the wreckage to the front of the subway train, or ignore the sound and climb through the wreckage to the rear of the subway train.
Oh, well, if you're in a dire situation, Reg Bradley always says you got to take care of yourself. So I got to bandage up my head wound. Wait, you said it was clotted, though. I'm still not bleeding, right?
You are, I believe you are not bleeding. However, it's quite a massive head wound.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
You are massive head wound Harry, or in this case, Greg.
Yeah,
Bradley.
I got to put this, I'm going to tear my shirt off because I need to see if, like, Red Bradley's ripped. Because if, like, the moaning out of there is, like, some lady that's in need or a stepsister, I got to be all over that.
So you're going to bind your head with cloth from your shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, you get eaten by a plant and die. Damn it! Every time.
As you tear strips from your shirt, the noise seems to attract the attention of the person trapped in the train wreckage. The lone mournful groans suddenly turn into heavy, desperate, panting snarls and a flurry of rattling and shaking from that direction. Whoever is making those noises does not sound very well off or even sane at this point. You quickly bind your head and, okay, here are the choices. Wait to see what happens. Go and see if you can help this poor soul. Ignore the person and climb to the front of the subway train. Ignore the person and climb to the rear of the subway train.
What was my first two options?
Wait to see what happens or go and see if you can help the person.
I'm going to wait and see what happens. Well, yeah, I'm going to wait and see what happens.
Wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Reg Bradley's like, man, that seems kind of, I'm a little bit weirded out. Had a weird dream. Sounds like they're kind of pissed off. Maybe they just need some alone. Maybe they're binding their own head wound. I'm going to wait and see what happens.
Maybe. There is a disturbingly wet tearing sound, and you can hear the desperate panting snarls suddenly beginning to get closer. You wait nervously in the dark, straining to see as it emerges from the wreckage. Crawling towards you over the caved-in side of an overturned subway car is a bloody corpse.
Oh, no.
Its lower half fully torn away at the waist and trailing innards behind.
Oh, Reg Bradley doesn't think that's normal.
The thing can't possibly be alive, but there it is. Frothing bloody foam at the mouth and snapping hungry jaws at you like something right out of an old horror movie.
Oh, good thing I read those Goosebump books.
Choices are: find a large stone to smash its head in with. Flee through the mess to the front of the subway train. Flee through the mess to the rear of the subway train. And in parentheses on each of those two choices, it says it can't follow very fast.
Oh, Reg Bradley's got to put this thing out of its misery. I'm going to find a big rock and smash its head.
Find a large stone.
I'm sorry.
Looking along the wall of the dark tunnel with your pen light, you spot a large chunk of cinder block and quickly heft it up. The horrible thing is still clawing towards you when you bring the heavy piece of concrete down on the back of its head, crushing its skull with a sickening splurge of blood, bone, and gray matter.
Yeah, Reg Bradley won. Weird corpse, nothing.
You are still filled with adrenaline and somewhat dizzy from your exertion.
I'm so fucking jerked!
And you look up to the sound of more moaning and see two more subway passengers shuffling towards you with outstretched arms from the front part of the train wreck. While they are not moving very quickly, they are on their feet and make a beeline straight for you. They are far enough away from you at this moment that you are fairly sure you can easily avoid them if you so choose.
Oof.
Okay, so you can wait and attack them with your cinder block, try to move through the other side of the wreckage from there, and sneak past them towards the front of the subway train, flee through the wreckage towards the rear of the subway train. You can move much faster than them.
It's just two options, right? Wait or run?
Yeah, wait or run to the front, sneak past them towards the front, or head towards the back.
I'm going to run towards... Ooh, I'm going to go... I guess I'm in the middle of this train, right?
Yeah, so you can either move forward, move back, or wait and attack.
I'm going to move to the front.
So you're going to try to move through the other side of the wreckage and from there sneak past them towards the front of the subway train.
Yeah, Reg Bradley's going to juke them and go forward.
You move quickly, ignoring the mess behind you and the throbbing pain of your injuries. You make your way over and through the wreckage of the train cars that scatter the tunnel in the direction the train was in before the wreck. Along the way, you see dead bodies everywhere.
Oh my God, so many dead bodies.
Smashed into the twisted metal of the wrecked train cars, each more gruesome than the last. Disturbingly, you also notice an unusually large amount of entrails scattered about. You somehow doubt that many people could have been disemboweled simultaneously by a simple train wreck.
Uh-oh, this doesn't look like it's natural.
Even one as serious as this one appears to be. You're not sure, and you certainly don't want to get close enough to find out firsthand, but some of the bodies even look as though they have been recently been savaged, as if by some wild animal's rending jaws. As you get further along,
rats down here are bad.
You also notice a large number of bloody footprints headed in the same direction you were going. They seem to be joined by more and more footprints as you pass through one mangled subway car after another. At length, you get to the front of the train you must have been riding on. In walking, you surmise that you have been on the train and thrown out a window when it crashed. You must have struck your head when you landed, which knocked you out for who knows how long. On that thought, you risk approaching a random victim's arm sticking out of the wreckage to take their watch. Unlike yours, this one still works and indicates the time to be 6:04 p.m.
Oh, shit. I've been out for almost 12 hours.
Yeah.
Man, boss is going to be...
If that is correct and your watch indicates the time of the crash, that means you were out of it for roughly 10 hours. You better not go back to sleep until you can get yourself to a hospital, or you might not wake up again.
Uh-oh.
You also find a working cell phone in the aisle as you go and see that it still works, but there's no signal in the subway tunnel.
Oh, and I got to do face recognition.
Looking at the first car of the train, you see that it's completely flattened under the rear cars of another train. It looks as though the first train was stopped on the tracks and your train somehow ran into the back of it at a rather high speed.
It was a rear ending.
Continuing on, you pass through the scattered cars of this train with much the same scene of carnage cast before your eyes until you finally arrive at the head of the first train. Unlike the train Unlike your train, the first car of this train is relatively intact. You know that at the very front of the train is a control room, which hopefully will have at least a first aid kit and, if you're lucky, a working radio. You see that all the bloody footprints leave the train at this point and continue down the tunnel in the direction the train was headed.
Oh, oof.
They are quickly lost in the hard-packed dirt and darkness of the tunnel itself, though following them wouldn't be a problem. And you've only got one direction to go unless you want to turn around and go back to the way you just came.
Yeah, following them wouldn't be a problem, says the narrator.
So do you want to search the control room or go back?
I'm going to search the control room.
The door to the train's control room is locked, where you're able to go outside and pull the smashed remains of the train car's windshield out, allowing you to climb inside. Checking the area, you see a map of the train lines, one on one wall, and note that the train was headed into the city before it crashed. This makes sense to you as you would have been traveling from your house in the suburbs to your office in the city during the morning rush.
Oh, sweet, and I found a machine gun.
You find a well-stocked first aid kit, a proper flashlight, a crowbar, some signal flares, a large fire extinguisher, and a working CB radio.
Ooh, I take it all.
You also find the train operator's book bag with his lunch in it and help yourself to the contents, seeing as he won't miss it anytime soon. You're actually surprised that it tastes so good, given that you're eating it in a small room with a horribly mangled corpse just a few feet away.
Oh, so he's dead right next to me?
Yeah.
I offer him a chip.
He eats it. Wait a minute. After eating, you wrap your wounds in proper bandages and down a couple of pain pills and a no-dose. You're pretty sure you don't want to fall asleep in here regardless of the head injury. You definitely don't feel safe down here in this tunnel of death.
Not when you'd call it that.
You pack the first aid kit, flashlight, everything in the book bag. You have the crowbar in your hand and check out the CB radio. Unfortunately, it's not the portable kind, but definitely worth trying to call help on. Let's see. You try the CB radio. After a while, you dial channel 7 and hear a voice on the other end. Help, I've been in a subway train wreck, you say over the comm. This is Officer Main of the 3rd Precinct. Who is this? Over. You identify yourself?
This is Rag Bradley. He's like, that sounds like a fake name.
No, really, who is this? I'm on a wrecked subway car down the tunnels. I don't know where exactly. Everyone on board is either dead or gone. You hear an awkward pause on the other end of the comm.
Oh, yeah, FYI, I just smashed some dude's skull that was crawling towards me.
You say, I'm injured. I've got a head wound, but I suppose I can run a short distance. What about the hospitals, though? I think I really need medical attention. The person on the other side of the comm says, no, don't go to any hospital. They're overrun with dead and undead.
What?
We have medical supplies here and a triage unit with doctors and a surgeon. You get yourself here and we can help you. Thanks for the information. I'll try to get to you. Good luck. Over. He says that he is in the precinct on 3rd and Spring Street.
Well, it sounds like I'm going to Spring Street.
Okay, so you're not in... after giving it some thought, you conclude you now have a number of things to consider. If the city is really overrun with zombies, then you'll need more than a crowbar to survive. You'll need real medical attention pretty soon, too. The 3rd Precinct seems to offer both and is in the direction the train was going.
Uh-oh, but that's where the footsteps go.
Then there is your home and family. You don't remember anything of them yet, but perhaps seeing one of them in person will trigger the return of your memories. You know they must love you and wonder if they are safe. Has the attack spread into the suburbs, or is it contained in the city? What if it spreads further? Is this the only city to be attacked, or are there more cities across the country facing this zombie threat? You're not entirely sure how far your home is from the city, but you think you had just over a 40-minute commute. You're just guessing, but yeah, maybe.
It's a 40-minute by train.
You try to work out in your head how far that would be in miles if you estimate the average speed of the train when it occurs to you to just look at the line map on the wall of the control room.
Yeah, you big dummy. Rag Bradley, think it through.
Trying to make a math problem out of it. You're like, wait, okay, so if the train's traveling at 45 miles an hour and I'm standing...
Damn it, I only have 10 fingers. Oh, thank God there's this dead corpse.
You see that your suburb is 26 miles away from Summit Station, you presume under Summit Tower where you work. Taking the green line from Summit Station to Fairmount Station, and from there, the yellow line to Suburbia Station. Now, all you need to know is where on the green line you currently are, which you won't find out until you walk in one direction or the other to another station. It is now 6:35 p.m.
Oh, man.
Okay. So here are your options. You can take the heavy fire extinguisher and continue heading further into the city in the direction of the train. Leave the heavy fire extinguisher and continue heading further into the city. Take the fire extinguisher and head back the way you came. Leave the fire extinguisher and head back the way you came.
Oh, man, why would you leave the fire
so
extinguisher?
Do you want to take the heavy fire extinguisher?
Yeah, I'm taking the fire extinguisher.
Okay, so do you want to head towards the city or do you want to head towards back the way you came?
Rag Bradley's got to go the way he came. He's got family. And plus, if you go in the city, like there's a lot more people there, so it's going to be more overrun. And plus, that's where all the footsteps were going.
Knowing that you're dealing with a citywide zombie epidemic, you decide that going further into the city would be suicide.
Yeah, Rag Bradley's not a dumbass.
I feel like you're making right decisions here, bud.
I know, right? I'm doing pretty good.
I feel like you're doing really good because, like, that sounds very encouraging. It's like, hey, good job for not being a moron.
Yeah, good job.
You are now determined to make your way home and see if doing so will bring back your memories. You hope your family is okay. Maybe they barricaded themselves in too. You know you had a 72-hour emergency kit and water in the basement with the camping stuff. At least they could last a few days if they just locked up and hunkered down. Hey, there you go. You remembered something about yourself.
Yeah.
You have a 72-hour emergency kit and camping supplies.
Yeah, well, my family has that, right? Or do I still not know if I have a family?
You're not 100% on that.
You just show up and nobody lives there. It's like, oh, yeah, I was lonely. I was actually trying to lay in front of the train tracks and end it all.
Oh, focusing on this thought, you get a hazy snippet of memory, a single moment from a camping trip in Maine with your wife before the children were born. Her name is Laura. And at least in the memory, you were madly in love with her.
No, Laura loved being in the outdoors in that tent. Oh, she would do things.
You try to get more.
Whoa, we gotta be careful. I can't have the blood rush in there. I don't have enough right now. Oh, I feel woozy.
Between zombies tearing you apart, infectious bites, and your own blood loss, head wound, and fatigue, it probably doesn't matter anyway. You realize making it home on foot is a long shot, and making it home to find everyone still alive would take a miracle. With that, you climb out of the control car and get moving back through the jumble of death and gore. At one point along the way, you hear moaning and shuffling from the darkness on the other side of the train wreck. Now that you know for sure it isn't simply an injured passenger looking for help, you set a firm grip on your crowbar and quietly sneak past on your side of the tunnel. You don't hear anything after a bit, so you get yourself back up and begin plodding into the lonely darkness of the subway tunnel.
You know how creepy that would be, too? I can't see anything. Got to keep my flashlight off. Ugh.
After traveling for what you thought was at least an hour, you look at your watch and see that it hasn't even been a full 30 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun, you think sarcastically.
Rag Bradley's full of jokes.
You know what I love is that you be saying all this stuff out loud. Yeah. Greg Bradley's so funny, and you talk in the third person.
Oh, I bet Laura's...
Greg Bradley's fucking hilarious.
I bet Laura can't wait to have Rag Bradley come home.
After another 5 minutes of plodding along, you begin to think you can see a dull light in the tunnel way up ahead. Turning your own light out momentarily confirms this, as you can definitely see a dull white glow. Whatever it is, you're still a ways off, perhaps a quarter mile or so. Eventually, you approach the opening at the end of the tunnel, where it empties into a large underground subway station. You hear the echoing din of a large mass of moaning and wailing subway passengers from within the station. These would be the zombies, you presume. You hover in the darkness of the tunnel, carefully venturing forward just enough to get a look inside. 100 and some of the former subway passengers, all trapped in the rush hour mob and unable to escape the initial outbreak, pack the area. Half are on the landing platform itself, and half are down on the tracks.
Oh, thank God I got this machine gun I found.
The ones on the tracks look a lot worse for wear, most torn up from the subway crash you just came from, or even other crashes from farther up ahead. They moan and snarl at each other, jostling and crowding toward the edge of the loading platform, trying most ineffectually at climbing up the 4-foot ledge. Occasionally, one does manage to get up, but is quickly pulled back down by the rest trying to climb up over its back.
Uh-oh. So half are in the tunnel I'm walking in, and the other half are on top of the platform?
Yes.
Oh, man.
You think over your options. The open stairs and escalator at the far end of the landing platform is a no-go. Way too many zombies to even get past, to even think about.
There's probably a dead kid on that escalator, too.
There's the turnstile exit gate with the escalator and stairs on the other side.
Can zombie climb stairs?
The problem is,
they can.
To get to the stairs, you'll have to hop onto the landing platform and make it to the turnstile exit gate and jam it before you get swarmed.
Oh, I gotta jam it.
There's also the matter of the turnstiles being one way. If there are zombies on the other side of it, you won't be able to come back the way you came.
Oh, shit, I'd be stuck.
The red door option on the other side of the tunnel will be much easier to get to, but if you're detected, the zombies on the tracks will move after you and block your way back to the tunnels. You don't even know if it's locked or if it goes anywhere, but for all you know, it just may be an access door to firefighting equipment. Though you would think it would say so if that was the case. You could try and sneak past the horde altogether while they're distracted in order to continue further down the tunnels towards the suburbs. If the rest of the stations are like this one, though, then you'll have to deal with getting out of the tunnels sooner or later. So here are your options. You can make a run for the turnstile gate. Use the heavy fire extinguisher to disorient and bull rush your way through the horde to the turnstile gate. Try and sneak unnoticed to the red metal door. Try and sneak unnoticed through the station to the other side of the tunnel and keep going.
This is a tough one. I kind of want to say...
What would Greg Bradley do?
What would Greg Bradley do? This is tough because you're trying to figure out like what this author's trying to like. He dropped some hints. It's like, well, I mean, there's the red door, could just be fire stuff, but you're pretty sure it would say that.
Yeah.
And like,
it's like you're getting these subtle hints, and so you're trying to like meta think it. But then you're like, oh God, is that just a trap?
Exactly. Well, I feel like 100's way too much to deal with. You could get to the other station, there could be more, or these guys could follow you.
Yeah. Then you're super fucked.
Yeah. But I've got the fire extinguisher to help disorient. Yeah. Greg Bradley. He's going with option one. He's going to use this to disorient and try to get through that turnstile. And the reason...
So you're going to...
Yeah, because it's one way. So a lot of those zombies probably would have already came through that turnstile. Because they would have been like coming towards the moaning. I bet that's where most of them came from.
Okay.
And if there's like an exit up top, they probably would have made their way out too. So they wouldn't have been just like hanging out in that one spot.
Okay.
That's what Greg Bradley's
so use
thinking.
this fire extinguisher and then you're going to bull rush and make it to the turnstile.
Yeah, that's what Greg Bradley's going to do.
Good thing you brought this heavy fire extinguisher, you think, as you pull the pin and ready for the onslaught. You're thinking you can use it as a battering ram to bowl your way through, then blast the zombies in the face with the contents to hopefully confuse them long enough to dive through the turnstile. Taking a deep breath, you rush out from the shadows of the tunnel.
You got this, Greg Bradley.
Over
For Laura!
As all the zombies on the tracks are looking in the direction of the zombies already on the platform, you're able to get right up to the edge of the crowd and brush past 2 or 3 of them before vaulting up onto the upper level. The fire extinguisher clanging loudly on the tiles as you do so. There's an abrupt silence as all attention is suddenly drawn towards you.
Uh-oh.
And then a roar of agitated groans and wails as the entire horde starts towards you. Of course, you weren't waiting to see what they do, so you're already running full speed towards the turnstile gate. Unfortunately, the swarm had already partially blocked your path.
Oh, shit.
And with them now actively moving towards you, you'll need to bust past at least 5 or 6 of them before you can get to the gate. You level the heavy fire extinguisher in front of you and ram at full speed into the first 2 with a yell. Sending them flying back into 2 more and toppling all 4 of them. Almost there, you think.
Greg Bradley was all state, you sons of dead bitches.
Swinging the fire extinguisher with both hands at the nearest of those left standing, the butt of the extinguisher slams into a creature's head just below the ear, shattering the thing's jaw and knocking its head so far to the side that its neck snaps loudly.
Yeah.
You still have 1 standing between you and your goal when you feel grasping hands all over your back.
Oh, shit. This is intense.
It seems your initial crash has drastically slowed your forward momentum. With horror, you feel that yourself suddenly being pulled backward into the crowd. The book bag. They have hold of your book bag. You suddenly... You drop one shoulder and spin out of the book bag, freeing yourself of the horde on the landing platform. But exposing your back to one standing between you and the turnstile gate. Knowing it must be lunging you do something radical and drop to the ground before rolling away to the side and emptying the contents of the fire extinguisher at your attackers.
Yeah, Greg Bradley, finish!
A violent blast of white powder spews into the faces of the zombies.
Just like the camping trip!
The zombies stop short for just a moment, apparently blinded or at least confused by the sudden stimuli. You scramble the last few feet towards the turnstile gate when something grabs your leg and threatens to drag you back into the horde.
Oh, damn it.
It's one of the prone zombies you knocked down in your charge. You'd almost forgotten about him. In the mounting panic of your situation, you can see all 4 of them beginning to get back up. But the closest of them grabbed a hold of your pant leg and is now sinking its teeth deep into your calf.
Oh, damn it.
You cry out in pain as the ugly thing rips a free wide strip of your flesh and grins, mouth dripping your own blood. Still having a hold of the fire extinguisher, you curse loudly and slam the butt of it down on the zombie's head with all your might. A gruesome spray of wet gore splats across your legs as the thing's head pops like a melon between the butt of the fire extinguisher and the hard floor. You ignore your injury and the revulsion of such a gory sight skittering through the turnstile before the rest can get to you. Immediately, the horde tries to reach through the bars of the gate. Looking at the stairs and escalator, you see that there are no zombies on this side of the gate.
I got that part right.
The problem is you're now bleeding from the burning bite on the back of your leg and are currently stuck holding the gate yourself to keep the zombies from following you through it. You look for the fire extinguisher, but you see you dropped it in order to make it to the gate in time.
Yeah, makes sense.
So this leaves two options. Sacrifice your crowbar to lock up the turnstile, or simply make a run for the stairs, hoping your injured leg will carry you through. Knowing that the zombies will follow, but only just a few at a time through the confined space of the turnstile gate.
Man.
You've also lost your book bag, the med kit, the signal flares, and a proper flashlight. But you still have your pen light.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put the crowbar in.
All right, you jam the turnstile gate with the crowbar, limp over to the escalator and stairs. The throng tries to push through the gate, but is unable to pass. They glare at you with frustrated moans and snarls. There's no power. There's no power to the escalator, so you take the stairs, climbing up to the subway's main corridor.
That's what I like about escalators. Like when they break, like you don't see a sign, sorry, escalator broke. All you say is, sorry for the convenience. The escalator has turned into stairs.
Directly across from the stairway you just came up is another stairway headed back down. The sign over the stairs reads North Platform. You know that this is the stairway that leads back down to the other end that you just escaped. It's a good thing zombies are stupid, or they could just turn from the turnstile gate and come right up those stairs unimpeded. To your right, the subway's main corridor goes another 100 or so feet and ends at another set of opposing stairs, which a much smaller group of 10 to 12 zombies mill about. The signs above these stairs read South Platform and Exit Only. You know that they would take you down to the subway's other platform, no doubt just as zombie infested as the North Platform was. Between you and that far end of the corridor are 3 sets of doors. The first door, on the opposite side of the tunnel from you, it's a security door broken off the top hinges. It hangs open at an odd angle and looks bent out slightly as if it had been forced open.
Uh-oh.
It has the words Transit Authority, Subway Personnel Only written on its face. The second door is on your side of the tunnel and reads Security Office. Next to the door itself is a huge smashed out window. The bloody body of a security guard hangs out of the window frame, the back half of its head apparently blown out from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Ooh, there's a gun
Below
there.
the window frame is a scattering of broken glass and a bloody pile of corpses. Some of you note with huge holes in their heads as well. You also think you can see the pistol the guard must have used lying in the gore. The final set of doors are the doors to the men's and women's restrooms. There's no point going to the restroom doors because you feel like obviously there's no way out. There's also no point in going back down to either subway platform. That would be suicide. You really don't have to go to the bathroom all that bad, so there's no point in getting trapped in a restroom. Besides, you can think of a lot more pleasant places to be killed by zombies anyway.
Yeah, Greg Bradley isn't dying in a men's restroom.
So you can run for the broken Transit Authority door, sneak across the corridor to the Transit Authority door, run to the security door and get the pistol, try to sneak along the wall to get to the security door and get the pistol.
Yeah, I'm going to sneak and try to get the pistol.
Okay. Looking at the dead piled at your feet, you see that there are 8 bodies. And they all have a number of bites on them. But it appears the actual cause of their death or re-death was 1 or more gunshot wounds to the head. Looking amid the gore, you see the security guard's pistol laying nearby and carefully pick it up. It is a 9mm semi-automatic handgun with a slide back. You see that the safety is off and check the 12-round clip, and it's empty.
Oh. Saved one for
Knowing
himself.
that your only option now is to try the broken Transit Authority door on the other side, you take the pistol and move carefully back along the wall away from the security door. You then watch the cluster closest to your position and move when they all seem to be facing away from you. The urge to bolt for it is intense, but you force yourself to walk slowly across the wide corridor.
Oh, keep it
arms
together, Greg.
extended just like a zombie, just in case something so stupid would actually work.
Hey, it's worth a shot.
You get about halfway across the corridor when one of the zombies by the stairs takes note of you. It doesn't moan loudly and lurch forward like you expect, but simply leaves the pack and starts shuffling slowly towards you, like it isn't in any hurry to get anywhere. A second seems to respond to the first departure and begins following behind it as well, while the rest in the group don't pay either any mind. So you have two coming your way, but at least they aren't charging. Your mind screams run for your life, while your common sense says don't blow your cover. So, you going to run? You going to bolt towards the door? Or are you going to try to keep the charade going until you get to the door?
I'm going to keep the charade going.
Okay. You force yourself to keep it together and continue walking like a zombie until you have crossed the corridor and arrive at the broken transit authority door. You slip inside. You note that the two zombies are only halfway to you from the end of the main corridor. This means you have about 30 seconds before they get there, but maybe you can find a way out or set up a good ambush before they catch up. Looking around, you see that you're in a short hallway about 30 feet to a set of private restrooms at the far end. Another corridor joins the hallway about halfway down its length on the left. You look down the other hallway, and it's lit by emergency lighting. A number of office doors, some open and some closed, line each side, while what's left of two mangled corpses litter the hallway in a splattering of gore. You see a zombie stumble out of one of the office doors to wander aimlessly down the hall away from you. At the far end of the corridor, you see another security door. This one's intact, but also shut and secured with a push-pin key lock. So there's two heading towards you from the back. And there's one in front of you that's facing away from you.
Yeah.
So here are your options. Pistol whip the lone zombie with your empty handgun, allowing you a few moments access to the security door before the other two show up behind you. Step into an office off the corridor to look for an exit. Sneak to the end of the short hallway into a restroom and lock yourself in until the zombies wander from the area.
Ooh. I feel like pistol whipping doesn't give you much time because the spot I'm going to is a keypad, right? So I have to guess a code to get through it.
It's a push pin key lock.
Yeah. So there's no way I'm going to open that door.
Yeah, because you don't have a key.
Yeah. So I feel like that's not an option. Bathroom, I'm shutting myself off, so I can't do anything in there. So I'm going to do the one where I'm going into one of the offices and let them wander.
Okay. You quickly step into an office, shutting the door quietly behind you. You hear the zombies move into the area on the other side of the door, groaning mournfully as they shuffle past your hiding spot and keep on going.
Yeah, stupid zombies.
Looking around, you see you're in a copy room with two printer copiers and some supplies. No other exits. Of note, however, is a large manual edge trimmer on a nearby countertop, the kind with a guillotine-style chopping handle. You look at the 2-foot-long cast-iron chopping handle and realize you could use it as an impromptu weapon. The problem is you'll probably make a lot of noise breaking the handle off the cutting board. Or you could push one of the printers up against the door to barricade yourself and wait it out. So you gotta barricade yourself in or get yourself break the handle off the cutting board and cleave some zombie heads with it.
Yeah, Greg Bradley's going to cleave some zombie heads.
All right. You figure you can't afford to get trapped here without a weapon. You look into the corridor and see two more zombies staggering your way. You decide you don't want to face them both in the cramped confines of the copy room and move out in the corridor.
So
when they get close, they lunge forward. You kick back one with your foot to give you room enough to wail on the first one a couple times in the head with your cleaver. You reduce its skull to a pulpy bag of shattered bone and goo.
Yeah.
The other one lurches in, and you bring your cleaver down from above with both hands, landing the edge right on its right shoulder. You hear breaking bones and see its entire arm go limp. You were aiming for the head and expected an instant kill. Did it actually just dodge your blow or just stumbled at the last moment? You narrowly avoid a nasty bite to the neck.
Oh, close call for Greg Bradley.
Pinning the zombie crashes in, pinning your cleaver between itself and the wall. You take a big step back, pulling free, but not before one takes a small nip out of your wrist.
Oh, damn it, I got bit again.
You yelp in pain and then growl at anger, slamming the end of your cleaver into the thing's mouth to gag it, knocking some teeth out in the process.
There we go. Can't bite me, can only gum me.
After dealing with the three zombies, you take a moment to tend to the bite on your wrist and then are free to search the rest of the offices unhindered. You don't find anything useful or another exit. Your only course of action is now to try the locked security door. Moving up and looking at the key lock, you see that it has 9 pins and a turning knob. Having worked with these before in some of the secured areas of Summit Tower, you know that you punch in a 4-digit combination and then turn the knob. You note that the 1, 2, and 9 pins seem a bit more worn than the rest, and the 9 pin looks the most worn at all. If the wear indicates the pins used in the combination, then you're looking at a combination using a 1, a 2, and 2 9s. And so there are actually 12 options here.
Oh, shit.
1299, 1929, yeah. So there's a 1, a 2, and 2 9s.
I'm going to go 2919.
2919. Nope.
1929.
1929. No. Let's go 9921.
9921.
Nope.
9192.
9219. Nope. 9291.
9291.
You cracked the code.
Hashtag hacker.
You are on a landing at the top of a flight of stairs that drop down 60 feet into a dimly lit area. In the ceiling above, you note a 2.5 by 4 foot metal access panel of some sort bolted shut. You ready yourself and head cautiously down the stairs, not wanting to get surprised by anything if you can help it. The emergency lighting here begins to wane. Using your flashlight, you make sure nothing is in the shadows. You see a crowbar or a fire axe. Which one would you like to take?
Ooh, taking the fire axe. Gives me more distance between stuff. Can actually use it to open doors. Lots of options with a fire axe.
Okay. So now there's some options here. You can go upstairs to try and pry open an access panel. Go out the north tunnel door and head north going into the city. Go out the north tunnel door and head south, which is where you were headed. Go out the south tunnel and run north, and go out the south tunnel and run south.
South tunnel, run south.
The red door doesn't move easily and creaks loudly as you shove it open. As you already knew, the subway rail tunnels are crawling with undead. The horde trapped down here immediately responds to the stimulus and begins moving in a giant agitated mass towards you. Not waiting for them to swarm you, you sprint south out of the subway station and back down the tunnel.
Wait, so I went back to the
Risking
tunnel?
a look back. Huh?
I went back to the tunnel?
Basically like you went down these stairs and then you found there was doors that headed back into the tunnels.
Oh, because I couldn't find like an exit out of the subway station. Okay.
Right. Risking a look back, you see you're outpacing them, but not as fast as you like. With all this new gear, you hope that you don't get winded running with it all before you can lose the zombies. After about 10 minutes, your lungs are burning and you have to slow down to a quick walk to catch your breath.
Oh, Greg Radley should have ran more.
As you round a bend in the tunnel, you suddenly hear the sound of the horde again. Have they caught up already? You're about to rush forward when suddenly you realize the sound isn't coming from behind, but from in front of you. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Without anything better to do at the moment, you begin running back the way you had just come from. Away from the zombies coming up from the south, but right back toward the horde chasing from the north. You know that to keep going this way will run you right back into the other horde. You only hope you gave yourself enough of a lead from the first group to come up with something. After a minute, you can no longer hear the group from the south, and you don't hear the ones from the north either. But you still haven't found a way out of this mess. Suddenly, you get an idea and shine your flashlight up into the ceiling. You see a line of pipes running the length of the tunnel high above. You reach up and try to climb over the pipes and climb up and hang from the pipes. The zombie horde merge right under you and mill about. So you're up in the pipes, up on the top of the tunnel.
Holding on for dear life, literally.
They don't initially see you and are beginning to hope, and you are beginning to hope that you might actually get out of this when a drop of your blood falls from a wound and hits one right between the eyes. It looks up and sees you, howls dolefully, and the entire horde knows you are there. You are in no danger of them ever reaching you, but you are trapped until they go away. They don't.
I got to shimmy. Can I shimmy?
The zombies peer up at you hungrily. After 2 days hanging under the pipes, your limbs have all gone completely numb from lack of circulation.
I held on for 2 days?
Yeah. The zombies still peer up hungrily. You never drop down, of course, but just before blacking out for good, you think you can see that strange black shadowy shape from your unconscious dreams lurking nearby. You wonder what it is and what it wants with you, but that's another story. The end.
Oh, damn it.
Let's see how well you... Oh, there's a score. Shawn, you get a score at the end.
I forgot about those. You always got a score at the end.
You killed 6 zombies. Oh, God. Apparently there's drooler zombies.
Okay.
You didn't kill any of those. There's bloater zombies. You didn't kill any of those. 0 ghouls. 0 banshees.
Oh, shit. This is a whole, like, supernatural
0
thing.
hellhounds.
I wonder if that was the thing growling at me that I heard.
Maybe. You killed 0 cannibal gaunt zombies. You killed 0 people.
That's good.
You saved 0 people, including yourself.
True.
You were eaten by 0 zombies. Your overall score is 4,050.
That doesn't seem bad. Where's it? Does it have like a rating where that is?
You played through 27 of 2,131 pages.
Damn.
And have proven to be zombie bait.
Oh. Well, I think the only thing, because like the option where I could have went to the red door or continued down the hall, continued down the tunnel, sounds like I would have died sooner sneaking down the tunnel. So I wonder if I should have went for that red door.
You did go for the red door. Oh, no, you went for the turnstile.
Yeah, I went for the turnstile.
That's right. Well, let's find out. Let's see.
All right, go back to my quick save.
Yeah. Yeah, red metal door. Okay. Well, it looks like you have to Oh, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like with the turnstile. You would have to lose your crowbar to secure the door. Oh, no, you can grab an axe. Apparently there's an axe by the door. You can use that to secure the door. It doesn't look like you lose your book bag or anything. So let's see.
Yeah, so there's some contents there that would have been nice to have.
I don't know. There's like 2,700 pages. So, I mean, I feel like it'd be a lot to get through.
That was kind of fun, though. I feel like we should do that more often. Like find some of those and do those every like couple episodes.
Well, I mean, shit, with 2,700 options, I mean, we could just do this again.
Yeah, start with instead go to the red door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. This was a really good idea. So what was the title of this and the author again?
This was Dead Man Walking was the name of the story, and yeah, a horror story game by Burka Zurka.
Yeah, I like this because this is almost kind of like a little bit of like a D&D tabletop game feel without dice rolls.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. That's what. That helped me kind of think, or that made me kind of think of it.
Well, it was fun. Well, so I guess as we're kind of choosing our own adventure, and I died on top of some pipes. What are some Richard's closing thoughts to get us through the emotional loss of Greg?
I like that. With like a video game, you can kind of like quick save. You know, like you just said, like, oh, go back to an earlier save, and then you just kind of. I considering that it's something that you just click through, like that you get the options, but you don't get to immediately see the consequences. The thing that I always liked about Choose Your Own Adventure is you don't immediately get to see. It's not an immediate consequence for options that you choose. Like you make a decision about something and then like usually in a video game, when you make a decision about something, there's immediate consequences. You either, you're, oh shit, you're dead. Oh, you gotta go back. But with Choose Your Own Adventure, you're not immediately dead.
Yeah, it kind of spirals.
You're
down.
presented with more exactly, and so the deeper the rabbit hole goes, then you're going, oh shit, maybe I should have, like you just did. You were like, oh, I should have picked that door, 12 choices back.
Mm-hmm. Well, and some of those too, when it's done, like you can almost like work your way out of it too. So like maybe if I would have went north and towards the suburb, maybe that would have been a safer route.
So I guess to wrap this up, I would say life is choose your own adventure and don't lament over the choices that you didn't make. Push forward.
Yeah, unless you're stuck on pipes above hungry zombies. All right. Well, I love that. That was a lot of fun. So let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website, we're languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us your choices at bros@languageofbromance.com. And we'd like to thank two people that we would love to have on a Choose Your Own Adventure, Wendy and Aaron.
Yeah, because you guys would... I'm sure that you guys would not be zombie bait.
No. They would have made it all the way through and saved.
Yep, they would. Maybe they would have made it.
Yep. All right. Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
No, I'm good, sir.
All right. Well, that's all the Bromance have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why. Be a why not.
Or maybe be a why.
Ooh.
No, you should be a why not.
Do you want to be a why? You want to be a why not?
Turn to page 46.
Oh, I fell down a pit and got eaten by a plant.